Good morning, folks. Kyle Grumke here at Grumke Farms. This morning, well, it's just barely still morning, but behind me you can see this fence. I am working on adding a leader wire off of my solar fencer. I'm trying to get it where I'm not having to move fences as much, or fencers, sorry, not the fences, the actual fencer. And I'm trying to get this whole farm on one fencer. But that's not what I was wanting to talk to you guys about. What I'm wanting to talk to you about is soil erosion and something I noticed while I was working on this fence. So I'm gonna turn the camera around. Okay, this is a line fence between me and a neighbor. We do farm, are privileged to be able to farm this crop field over here as well. And the owner and we have a very similar outlook on how to farm and soil health. But here's what I wanted to show you. Look at that right there. That was the original fence. They had to put in a new fence. The old wires are still there. You can see where they had to add new wires because, from what I understand from the, oh, sorry about my hand. What I understand from the farmer up here, when he bought this farm, it was in terrible mismanagement. The owner at that time, he did not take into account soil fertility or soil health, and he had heavy tillage. The ditches on that farm got so bad that he was farming up and down the hill because he couldn't get across the ditches. The purchaser of this farm has since went in there and they put in structures, terraces, tile outlets. They moved dirt and filled in the ditches. And because of that, all the soil that was lost off that hillside was down here and buried that fence. If that was a normal 5-foot tall fence, there's not even 3 foot of that standing up. And this has been a while, because look here, look at where these trees are. These are not small trees, and they have grown up in this dirt. So it's been that way for a long time, long enough that even the new fence wire has lost its shiny, lost its galvanized. It just is amazing. Yeah, here's a wood post buried, about 3 foot sticking out. That means there was 2 foot of dirt at least that moved and covered up this fence. It's amazing to me how, you see that happen and you aren't trying to figure out how to stop it. We're going to hop the fence here. It's a beautiful morning. Beautiful day. Wind is finally laid. So this field was wheat last season. We did bale straw off of it, and we planted a cover crop. Now after we planted the cover crop, it got about a total of, I'd have to look back, but I'm thinking an inch of rain that came in mostly like 1/10 or 2/10 jags with a lot of time in between. So we did not have the greatest emergence of plants, but we do have a pretty good, there's something here. I showed the video of the rye here a few weeks ago on the Facebook channel, and it is improving. There's not nearly what I'd like to see there, but there is a living plant. What we got going on here, we got some hairy vetch right here. It's going to go to town here before long. We've got some turnips that overwintered. They're going to bolt here pretty soon. Got some rye, rye and wheat. I'm not sure which. I'm thinking this might be wheat. And then we had a pretty good stand of sorghum, Sudan grass in here, But we turned the cows in here and they ate it, and it does not overwinter. It's not intended to come back. We got a little bit of some clover that did make it, came up. What else have we got going on here? We had a little bit of buckwheat in here last year. Buckwheat does not take a huge amount of water to make an appearance. And of course we've got our henbit and chickweed. This right here is henbit. But it's not a total wash. There is something green in here. We are catching sunlight, not nearly what I'd like to. There's a lot more bare ground. We got these cow pies here. I wonder if they warmed up, if there's even enough. Yeah, there was. He ducked his head right back in there, but okay, here's an earthworm. They are eating on that biology in there. There's a little insect. Let's cover them back up, keep them moist. So, not nearly what I'd like to see in here, but like I said, there is something green growing. There's a little bit of white top. If there's anything underneath this one. A couple of little mealworms. Oh, there's some right there. See them coming out of there? They're heading for the ground. So I just can't imagine letting that much erosion happen without trying to figure out something. This farm will be no-till. We try to be 100% no-till. The only thing that we do an occasional tillage pass on is to plant alfalfa, which this spring I'm going to try and no-till it in as well, just because I'm a little bit concerned we're not getting the moisture we need to. So, right over here is an alfalfa field. It's an old one. Yet to make up my mind whether that's going to be there for hay this year or if it's going to go to corn. It's a older stand. I've been having some difficulty with insect pressure. But right now I'm working on putting up a 2-wire electric fence along it. I did have just a single one on rebar posts, and deer and calves would knock those off and then they'd end up in there. So I've cut off a bunch of those sucker rods that we got, and I'm going to sink them. They're 4.5 footers. I'll put them in the ground about 1.5 foot, maybe not quite 1.5 foot. And might start out with just a 1-wire and see if the calves behave themselves or if we need to add a 2nd wire. But you can sure hear the frogs this morning. Boy, it's a pretty day. The wind is not as bad as it has been, and it is just warm finally. That's a beautiful tree. One of my favorites, sycamore. They're just so pretty and unique. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Bear with me as I learn how to film. You wouldn't think holding a camera a different direction would make that much difference, but going from Facebook, where you hold it, to film vertically, to YouTube, where it films horizontally, you got to learn how to hold the camera different. So if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and hit like, subscribe so you get where we drop a new video. I'm going to try and do daily. If not, it will be at least 5 times a week. A little bit of butterfly there. Trying to get the analytics where it's pushing it in front of some more people. They can see what we're doing, see what regenerative agriculture looks like, see the mistakes, and see the successes. So You have a good day. We'll talk to you later, and enjoy this beautiful weather.